Yes, the amendment that was tabled a couple of weeks ago and debated today abolishes conscription through this amendment to the Defense Amendment Act 2018. And the first thing I would say, Dennis, to you and the people of Bermuda is bad. Bad. I think you'll recall the Bermudians against the draft for a number of years fought for this. And I think all politicians were lobbied. Some listened, some took it on board, some paid no attention to it. When we became the government, we were well aware that changes need to be made to keep the regiment viable. It does great service to our communities, no doubt about that, in many, many areas. And we all see it during hurricanes, but there's much more that happens at the Bermuda Regiment than just that. But when I was a Minister of National Security, it was very clear to me that conscription was outdated. It was outdated. It had been abolished in many other countries. And in my view, it was also discriminatory in many areas. So I took on board the concerns that were expressed to me from those who wanted to abolish conscription and for those who wanted to keep it, like the 9 colonels. I was lobbied vehemently by the 9 colonels. And we commissioned the National Security and Defense Review that was presented to us, I believe, in 2014 with the governor of the day. And in that, we made it very clear to them that we believed that it was appropriate to move towards an all-volunteer regiment if it could be done in an appropriate way. We changed legislation to make that happen. And so for a few years from that time on, conscription was a backdrop of what could happen, but we used volunteers to staff the regiment, and we were successful. Now, in that National Security and Defense Review, they urged us, as a government of the time, if you're going to abolish it, to make sure you have in place the means to make sure that regiment can continue to be viable and move forward. And the minister will outline what he believes appropriate. And so we support the move that's taken place, but at the same time we want to make sure that the regiment has the ability to get the numbers required to do whatever they have to do going forward. And the ministers talked about a new strategic plan and direction for the regiment that's still being drafted. We know the commitment by the former government and this government for a maritime approach to the Bermuda Regiment as well. All this is going to cost money and resources. And so against the backdrop of this amendment today, which I think is another strong move for human rights, which we support, which was started under the One Bermuda Alliance, we need to make sure that we continue the pride tradition of the regiment in taking care of our community, helping our community, and give them the ability through manpower and resources to do the job at all times that we expect.